unbeaten start for Arsenal since 16 years ago. What, if anything, can you put that down to?
Well, consistency, for sure, and that's what we are looking for. I think in this league you have to be at your best every single match. We have managed to win a lot of games. Something that we have been better is when you cannot win, you don't lose it, except of a midweek in the Champions League. And that's why it requires to be every single 3 days, be at your best.
How's David Raya settled in since he arrived from Brentford?
Very good. Around the place with his teammates, around the club. Obviously, he knows London really well. He knows the way we play. He's so used to that. He knows the league so exceptionally well.
Looking at Sunday's game then, is there anything at all that you can take from the Community Shield game into Sunday's game?
Well, that was an important one for us. Obviously, winning a title against City is always something that you have to value the way we did it as well. And it gives us confidence as well and belief that we can beat them.
Is there any difference that you think now between the sides as opposed to back then?
Well, that's a while ago. Obviously, it was after pre-season. We have some players available, some players not available. We are much more into the season, so I think it will be a different game.
Go to Bradley from TalkSport.
Hi Mikel,
Hi.
hope you're well. Does Wolves win over Man City last week show that City aren't as invincible as many people think they are?
Well, I don't know. Any team in the Premier League has the tools and the quality to beat you, and I think all the managers, we are aware of that for sure.
I mean, we've looked at Arsenal's record against City in the league in recent memory. I don't think Arsenal have beaten City in the league since 2015. How much of an impact has that had on the squad, or what do you need to change this time to make sure you do get that win over them this time?
Well, we are not looking that far, that's for sure, because obviously there were no players participating in those games. But we know one thing for certain, is we're going to have to be at our best. And we're going to have to be at our best in every department for 100 minutes. And then we have a chance.
Is this a season-defining game for Arsenal? I mean, if you do get 3 points, does that give you much needed confidence to show that you can win the Premier League this year?
No, it would be a big boost, obviously, energy and confidence-wise, but apart from that and the 3 points, nothing else.
And lastly, there's been talk this week about Ben White being in talks about a new contract. How impressed have you been by the way he's developed in his time at Arsenal? And once again, are you surprised that he's been overlooked by England again this week?
No, really happy with Ben. I think he's been a very consistent player for us. He's been always available for us. I think he has developed in a great way, both as a centre-back and especially as a full-back, because there were some question marks there as well. I think he's got a character of a fighter, a character that is needed in the squad, especially at this level, and I'm really happy to have him.
That's great. Best of luck this weekend. Thank you.
Oh, from the Athletic.
Hi Mikel, I was just wondering how much you remember of the game against City on New Year's Day when you had COVID and you couldn't play the game. And from an outsider's perspective, that seemed like a really big moment for this squad's progress. Could you feel that even when you weren't at the stadium?
For sure, and I could feel it from home, and that was a huge step. We didn't manage to get nothing from the game at the end when we ended up with 10 men. But I think last year's at home as well, it was a big one, the way we played, and we ended up losing the game, and we took some big lessons from that, but as well a lot of positives to take into the season.
And a slightly different one, I was just wondering, how is it a worrying precedent when, I guess, referees are maybe not allowed to referee certain clubs' matches now with what's happened over the past week or so?
I don't know, it's something that we don't have a say, we don't manage, and I think they are trying to make the best decision. They are trying to protect the game, they are trying to get as much as support and as well be ruthless when it needs to be. I think at some point as well we need to give support, and we need to understand that mistakes happen. You know, we make mistakes as well, and if not, I think the pressure will be so much that it will be very, very difficult to manage.
Clive from Brooklyn.
Hi Mikel, it's obviously going to be a very high intensity and high atmosphere game. We've seen very good atmospheres at the Emirates already this season, ahead of PSV, ahead of Spurs, and you've said in the past that maybe in those atmospheres your team can maybe get a bit too emotional, a bit too caught up in the emotion of the occasion. What will you do to try and stop them from doing that, just keeping their focus on the pitch?
Well, first of all, I think that we have the best atmosphere ever at the Emirates, you know, and if we can create it, that's going to be so helpful for the team. Is how we manage. We have moments that we have managed it exceptionally well. Against PSV was a really good example. Certain pass against the Spurs, but that's down to us. But hopefully the crowd can produce that, and that will be a big plus for us.
And James from ESPN.
Hi, Mikel. Just on Bakayo, just to clarify, presumably he's had a scan which has shown no major damage, which must be positive in terms of his injury.
In contention. That's it. I'm not a doctor. That's what they told me.
And just on him in terms of England, presumably, are you going to have a conversation with Gareth about managing his minutes during that international break? One of those games is a friendly, obviously, against Australia.
Listen, I have spoken to Gareth in several occasions, but I have to do my job. I give him the news and the position that everybody is at, and then we have really good communication, and he needs to make the best decision as well for the national team, and I'm not going to get involved there.
And just on Sunday, there's obviously always a lot of focus around you and Pep in these games and your relationship. Can you two surprise each other still?
I don't know. I'm sure that every year we have new tools, new players, and can do different things. Obviously, we know each other and we expect certain things from each other, but at the end, this is down to the players, and they are the ones that surprise you the most, that's for sure.
What was the last thing he did that surprised you?
Probably that he didn't do. I expect to do something very different with Bernardo, and he didn't do.
When he played in the left back?
Yes.
In the game last season?
Mm-hmm.
When you prepare for these games, you have to think about whether he might do something completely left field again like that?
Yes, and he does that normally in big games and against big teams, and he's done it this season as well against different opponents, different things, and that's a big quality of them because they can change it, but not only before the game. I think they can do it during the game, they can do it at half-time, and that's a strength, a team that is able to dominate these things.
And just lastly from me, Jurgen Klopp says he wants Liverpool against Tottenham replayed because of the VAR mistake. Are there any games that you like replayed?
No comment.
Okay, last couple in the live section. Gent there from Sky Italy.
Hi, Mikel. Looking back at last season game, Pep played with a lot of long balls more than normal games because he knows how aggressive you can be. Do you think how much knowing each other so well affect the preparation of this game?
No, but they've done that against Brighton, that they're extremely aggressive, or against Liverpool. It's adapting to the behavior of the team. You know what you're going to provoke when you have certain idea. You want to go and get a team really high off the pitch. And now they have different qualities when they had Agüero with Haaland as well, and they have different qualities because they have Ederson and not another goalkeeper, and we know that.
And we'll go to Aaron from Babel.
Hi, Mikel. With Leandro being nominated for Goal of the Month yesterday, how important is it to have such competitive backup for important games like this when Saka and Martinelli are nursing
Yeah.
injuries?
Well, really important. I think Leo's been really good. I think he had a big impact in the team the last game that he played, and he has an absence against Brentford that he couldn't participate, but for the rest he's been really good.
Okay, guys, we'll now go to 10:30 tonight.